Hey everybody, John L here. Hope you guys are having a good evening. We are playing Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. So this is the sequel to the super mega classic hit Zelda. Not quite sure if Zelda 2 is as big of a classic mega hit. I think a lot of people kind of aren't too fond of the difficulty of the game. And I had never beaten this as a kid. I just beat it recently, as you can see. But yeah, it is a difficult game, so it'll actually be kind of fun this time around. I'm gonna do a couple things differently. Also, name myself Link because, as Cracked says, there's two types of people. There's the heroes of time, and there are the people who name themselves in the game. Whatever, we're Link. Okay, so anyways, this, like many of the direct sequels, like Super Mario Bros. 2, Castlevania 2, is a game that is quite different than... Wow, nice. Than its predecessor. So the original Zelda was obviously a overhead adventure game. No leveling, everything was pretty much straightforward. You just get items and, you know, you're better. This one, okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna pause right there, is skip getting the life. So the first playthrough I did, I kind of just got everything as it came, and that actually made the game quite a bit more difficult. I'm not quite sure how much damage less you take per hit, but I know that it's a lot more difficult to kill enemies when you have a weaker sword, so getting your attack up is a pretty big thing. And then there's also kind of a way you can use the levels to advance your experience really quick. There's like a ton of YouTube videos out there. I'm not going to really go over it in detail. Right here, we'll kind of just experience it as we go through it. So first thing we do is pick up the P bag, and then we can head over. I'm going to actually go to the town and get the shield spell and heal up. So in the beginning, before you have the life spell, you're going to want to do a lot of healing. So you'll find like the nice lady and go inside her house, and whatever happens, happens, and you get healed up. So with the experience strategy, what you want to do is just keep accumulating as much experience as you can, just leveling that sword up. But the one thing you have to really be careful about is not dying. So you have 3 lives, and if you end up getting killed, then Link loses all the experience that he's gained, and depending on how far along in getting to the next level, that could actually be kind of a big bummer. So anyways, that's the idea with the experience. What I was saying before about Legend of Zelda 2 being different than the original Legend of Zelda. So in the first Zelda, you just pick up the items, you know, heart containers, whatever items like bombs and boomerang in the overworld or dungeons, and you just kind of get to use them. There was no experience, there was no magic. So all that stuff is... added, and it's definitely... I don't know why I'm doing that. Oh, these guys just aren't worth anything, huh? Okay. So, and of course, you know, it's a side-scrolling game. So, it's definitely different, and then this, I believe, is the only other Zelda game, except for maybe the obscure Panasonic, anyway, like CDI or whatever games, where Link is actually, you know, side-scrolling versus overhead. So that's a little trick there. You know, you just tease out the enemies and then get back on the road. The enemies can't hit you on the road. Alright, let's see if we can get through this. So if you're trying to avoid enemies, that's kind of the way to do it. So in this cave, there's this one enemy. You can kind of see him crawling along right there. So this whole thing's a little bit deceptive. I mean, it's kind of weird to go into a cave without having the candle, but the candle is something we get in the first palace. So with the experience, there's raising your attack, there's raising your health, and there's raising your magic. So raising your attack obviously makes it easier to defeat enemies. And I feel like that might have the biggest impact in the game. Raising your life, I believe, makes it so that, you know, each hit you take takes less damage off. There's heart containers also, which we're actually working to get right now. You start with 4 heart containers, and there are actually 4 hidden throughout the game that are spaced pretty evenly out throughout your adventure. So unfortunately you can't really front load. And the same thing goes with the magic containers. So we'll skip the magic. So usually I save the heart container for after, because usually I don't do that Goria battle all that great, and I take a hit or two. Once you get the heart container, you'll actually fill up some of your life. So we got the pea bag in the forest. That was the first thing that we did. We got the shield spell. So, whoa! Alright, so one thing we really want to be careful about is not dying. And these bubbles are like a fun and cheap way to die. Oh shoot! Oh! So those could just knock you off a ledge, and that's 1 life right there. So like I was saying, raising your attack makes it easier to kill enemies. Your attacks will do more damage. Raising your life will make it so you're, you know, more stout. You can take more hits, even though you have, you know, however many blocks. The enemies will only take a smaller fraction of it for every level you increase. Magic kind of works the same way. There's magic containers, and the more levels you gain in magic, the less your spells cost. So shield costs 32 right now, and I think it gets down to, I don't know, it's pretty cheap by the end of the game. Alright, looked out with that guy. So I guess the irritating thing is there's a lot of enemies that don't really give you any experience to begin with, so. But with regards to the levels, these guys just jump off, so that's why I'm kind of freaked out about this guy. Oh, we'll skip that guy. Whoa. You don't really use a whole lot of magic in this game until you get the life spell, and even when you do get the life spell, I think the maximum number of charges you can use is 2. So, if anything, I would, you know, buff up your attack and your life first, but definitely go for the attack first, because that's just going to make the game a whole lot easier. So, the difficulty of this game is something that gets talked about a lot. Even the first level, it seems, this is relatively easy, but I mean the second dungeon actually kind of jumps up. Like, this is the last time I think we're gonna see just regular old stealthos. So I hate these guys too, the skulls, because they actually steal your experience. so we can't pass up anything, so we'll go ahead and raise up our attack. So if you're gonna die, this is the time that you want to die. Because we're basically not gonna lose any experience. Yeah, so the difficulty does increase. I was hearing a lot about not Death Mountain. Is it Death Mountain? It's a long route you have to take to get get the hammer. That actually didn't seem as bad as everyone made it out to be. Maybe it's just because I was kind of going off of a game fact and wasn't getting lost or anything like that, but it wasn't terribly difficult, but I could see how, you know, if you're just kind of playing it through the first time, it can be a long, confusing area. Alright, so we're gonna skip this again. And, okay, so you get, you know, a lot of magic and stuff. Like, none of that is particularly useful in the beginning right now, since the only spell we have is Shield. And that doesn't really do a whole lot for us. Alright, so basically the goal in the first level is just to be really cautious, get a whole bunch of experience, get the candle. So the Tin Hats, these guys, they respawn forever. All the difficult enemies, they won't return until we leave the palace. And I think they even stay dead if we die, just as long as we don't end up continuing. So, yeah, the goal at this point is to just not really die and get to Saria Town, where we can finally get the life spell. Bastard. So there's a fairy in this dungeon, which is awesome because no other dungeon, well, I think maybe the last dungeon or one of the last dungeons has one too, which I think is actually like kind of a trap. Oh my god, I'm getting murdered by these guys. Alright, so we'll wait for these bots, I think they're called. I don't know, I don't really know the names of these things. So there's a pea bag on this bridge. It's kind of a precarious thing to get, but hopefully we can do it. Oof. Okay, let's skip that. Okay, so we're okay. These guys can't get us. That's so much easier once you get the down strike and the up strike. So yeah, for some reason they just decide to head off in the other direction. Alright, so far so good. Alright, yeah, you just really want to be careful and patient in the beginning. So there's kind of a skill in attacking these enemies. Like, these guys don't have a shield, but you fight a ton of Stalfos and a ton of Iron Knuckles. So Stalfos are, of course, the skeleton guys, the same guys from the first Legend of Zelda. Sorry, a little bit of concentration required there. That guy right there is an Iron Knuckle. So the Stalfos have a pattern where it's kind of like you just need to kind of slide in and just stab them in the legs, and kind of just slide in and stab them in the legs. Kind of, there's like a certain pattern or pace, tempo type thing. Ooh, nice. This is really good. We might actually be able to get to the next sword level. Actually, we definitely will before the end of this level, which would be really cool. That being the case, we definitely don't want to touch the last crystal part. So anyways, with the Stalfos, yeah, you want to kind of duck down and just kind of slide into them and hit them in the legs. Oh my gosh. Alright, let's run like a madman. Come on. Oh boy. Holy hell. Over here. Oh my god! Holy shit. Watch me get killed by like a tin hat or something. Oh shit! Holy hell. Like literally anything's gonna kill me right now. Okay. I literally just don't want to die, just because, especially in the beginning of the game right now, you just really need to keep up with those lives. So Stalfos, we covered that. The Iron Knuckles, you want to do this kind of jumping, slashing thing, and there's a guy coming up right here, so... And there's like a pattern, it's like jump, slash, wait, jump, slash, wait. There you go. Alright. Sweet. Okay, so we got the third attack. That's great. I'm actually a little bit slow. I like to usually get those guys on the top ledge. Alright, so we'll skip that. There's another one of these guys. Actually getting to third level of the sword here. It's really nice. Oh. Alright. Take our time with this guy. Alright, and we will skip. Alright, I think there's another Stalfo, or another Iron Knuckle coming up. Oh man. Alright, we might die. Actually, we probably will die. Alright, we are at the boss right now, and I am pretty much guaranteed gonna die, because... Unless I get just super lucky. Oh, and I have no shield also. So the boss is just a really tall horse-headed guy, and you just want to jump up and smack him in the head and kind of dart away. He has a pattern that's kind of similar to the Iron Knuckles, where you want to kind of time it, hit it, and run away, and whatever. Once you get into a rhythm, he's not that bad. He does like a couple things that are a little bit challenging, like he'll kind of move forward or move back. We'll see. Ugh. Alright, well there goes one life. We're actually in a pretty good spot though. Oh, this is bad. Oof. See? Having the sword at level 3 really does a lot more damage. It actually kind of allows me to get away with fighting him like pretty poorly. Okay, so you go through the door, and what we're actually gonna do, you don't want to walk up to this thing, we're gonna just jump over it. So if we were to walk up to it, it would give us everything that we need to get to the next level, which would be about 646 at this point. That's not a whole lot. So what we're gonna do is leave this and just kind of grind and get the rest of it. So we're actually going to go to the swamp, which is kind of the area for the second palace. And the enemies there, the Octoroks, are actually pretty predictable and give you a decent amount of experience. So that is what we will work on getting next. So that was the first palace. We got the candle, we defeated the boss. And since it's just so easy to get to the end of it, we'll just save that. Free level up, I guess you'd call it, at the end. Alright, so... go to the old magic lady. Is there a magic lady here? I don't know. So pretty much in every town, there's really only like a couple of things to do. You can get your life refilled with the what is it, the I don't know, the hot red lady, and then there's like an old shiny red lady who refills your magic. The other thing that also happens is there's always a spell. Every city has a spell. And depending on... Nice. We might even... Alright, cool. So this is where the first extra magic container is. So pretty much beyond those three things, there's really not a whole lot to do in the cities. And you can actually kind of save time by just avoiding speaking to the people. If you played through it, you kind of have an idea. There's really not a whole lot to do in the overworld. In fact, half of the side quests, besides getting to the palace, are kind of about getting whatever you might need to get the spell from the next town that you'll end up visiting. Alright. So I hate these bats. They tend to knock me off into the lava a lot. So I think there's a Goria or something right here. Yeah. Sweet. Cool. So we get the trophy, and by doing this we can get the jump spell, which we'll need to get through the cave in the next section. Whoa. Alright, we'll just pass that guy up because he sucks. Okay. So I think we're making pretty good time right here. I think this is the town of Hyrule or something. Rudo. I think the other one was out to you. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick little break and just stop the video here, and then what we'll do is we'll get the next spell, walk through the cave, and get the life spell and make our way to the second palace. So I'll see you guys in a bit.